welcome back to my Pokemon Corner. Today I'll be going through my Pokemon 151 Master Set, but before I jump into it, we are going to go into a little breakdown. So in total, I opened 65 booster packs, bought 6 sealed product, but then traded it for other cards I needed, and then I bought the rest of my singles, which total costed me 1,109 Canadian dollars, which is quite expensive. And now I want to take you a little bit behind the scenes of a couple of my trades. So this was my first ever trade from Facebook Marketplace, and I got around 9 cards, which was really exciting. And then afterwards, I went to a local trade event where I was able to get quite a bit of cards. I was very surprised at how everybody was trading for the 151 cards because I was expecting like only a couple, but I got a bunch of cards that I never had, and this completed like 70 to 80% of my collection. Then I have the Blastoise, Alakazam special illustration cards and a bunch of the full arts. This was another trade which costed me quite a bit because of the Blastoise, but it is way more now, so I'm super happy I was able to get it like a month ago. And then afterwards we have a big huge pile of reverse holos I was able to get from someone off Marketplace as well. They had a bunch of these cards, which was exactly what I needed. Now let's get into the binder. So this is my Vault X 12 pocket big huge XL binder. It's absolutely stunning and it's very durable. It holds my cards exactly how I wanted it to, and I just love this binder with all my heart, especially because it has the 151 cards. We are gonna just flip through all of these pages so you can kind of see how I laid everything out at a glance before I kind of get into why or which cards are actually there. So this is just a little quick overview, a little quick flip through of what I have. I really love how afterwards these cards just become like 2x2s. So it's not like it in the beginning it was like a little jumbled, and now we have them next to each other and it just looks so beautiful like this, and I love how it just worked out in the end for it. So now we have basically gone through all our commons and uncommons. So now I have like the trainer cards on the other side, and then I do have like 1 or 3 technically empty spaces, but that is gonna be probably just empty for now, and in the future if there is more promos I'll fill those up. So now you can see that we have the full arts and the illustrations dedicated to one page or like to certain pages, and then just full out all energy cards, and then the 2 big huge promos at the back. Okay, so let's dive into it. The first up, we have the first page, which has the Bulbasaur. I added the promo right at the beginning just because it felt a little off to include at the end, and I wanted to integrate all the promos just into and beside the individual cards. I really love the illustration of this and how the Cosmo Holo foil, like it just complements the background super well, and it's just a very nice card that I wanted to be like right in next to the rest of the Bulbasaurs. And so we have the regular normal Bulbasaur that you get, and then the reverse holo, and then the Costco exclusive one, which is a reverse holo Cosmofoil or whatever, Cosmo Holo. So you can kind of see that there's the reverse holo background, but then also it's like sprinkled with all those cosmos, and it's just like such a pretty card. So even if you didn't get like the regular reverse holo, I feel like this would be a good card to just have. I think they're really nice, and you could only get those in the Costco mini tins. So that's why it was a Costco exclusive. And then we just have the Ivysaur, Ivy Reverse, Venusaur EX. This Venusaur EX I got from the Blooming Waters, and so it's really vibrant. So this quality of the EX card really shined through. But some of the other EXs I got were a little dull, as you might or might not see afterwards. So then we have our little Charmander, which is also from the poster collection. You can see how the Cosmos kind of complement it. And then the regular Charmander card, which I absolutely love. So Charmander also has one of the Costco exclusives. But the reason why I love this Charmander, which has been in other sets, is the Charizard shadow that you can see on the ground. It just looks so nice that you can, it's like a hidden little Easter egg that there's just a little bit more to the card than just Charmander himself. And then we have Charmeleon, and then the Charmeleon reverse at the top over here, and then the Charizard EX. So I am missing the Charizard EX from the Super Premium Collection box. So this one is just a regular one that you get from the 151 set, but then there is the promo card. I think it was 161, which I'm missing. I will probably get that, but I can't find it right now. And then we have our Squirtle from the poster collection as well. So look at how cute all these poster collection ones are. They are so nice, and I love how it's just like a different artwork and not the same repeated card, because I have so many duplicates and there is a little squirrel on the background of this one, so it makes it feel a little more special. And then we have our little Squirtles. Squirtle is also with the Costco exclusive over here. And then just our regular Wart Turtles and a Blastoise EX, which was from the Blooming Waters, that I got because I couldn't pull any of them. And then we have the Metapods, the Butterfree. So nothing special here. Each of these cards are just a normal and a reverse holo. But I kind of love the illustration on each and every of these cards. And then the holos are done quite well too. Even though they're not a hit, they are super pretty. And then we have Pidgeot, Rattata, Ratacat, Sparrow, another one, Pharaoh, and then Ekans. And then we have the Arbok EX. So this Arbok EX was the first one I pulled from the ETB, and the color on it is quite faint. It's very watered down compared to the Venusaur. The camera is not picking it up sometimes, but it's like in certain lightings by itself you could kind of like not see the holographics as well. And I don't know if anybody else has kind of noticed that, but that is just how I felt. I almost thought some of these cards were fake because they weren't as vibrant as I thought it was. So there's that. And then we have the regular Pikachus, and this one is also the Pikachu Costco exclusive, which is why there is 3 copies of it. I don't really like how there is multiple copies of a single card, but I felt like I had to get it because look at the shimmer of it, and it's a pretty cute Pikachu. So we'll put that back, and then we'll see Raichu. Raichu, I think, let's kind of pull him out. He is kind of my favorite as well here. You can kind of see how Raichu is just like pairing, and he is right against the space or night sky, which looks really nice. I think this Raichu is adorable. And then we have the Sandshrew and the Sandslash. The Sandslash is actually, I feel like, an underrated card. Like, I never really like looked super close at it, but it's so pretty. Like, you can see Sandslash is doing like its little attack, and it's just slicing through or rumbling in its environment, and I just think that that is so nice. I love the illustrations on there. I can like look at this every time. I'll like try to look back on this master collection, and I'm just in awe with each and every one of these. Nidoqueen was kind of hard to find, and then we have the Nidorans, or was it a Nidoking? I think it was the Nidoking, the reverse holo, that was hard to find, but I got it in a trade. And then we have the Clefairies and Clefables, Vulpix, and then the Ninetales EX. So this was another one of the EX cards that looked a little fake to me. The colors were really watered down, and it was really gray. Apparently my lighting here is too good, but if you don't focus on the color, rainbow holo color, like that one in the corner, yeah, like right there, that's kind of what I see in person, and it just felt super fake to me because it wasn't as vibrant as the rest of the EX cards. But you can see Ninetales' eyes glow in certain lightings, which I really love. I think that's also on the other EX cards and special illustration cards as well. So let's put that back. And then we have our Jigglypuffs, Wigglytuff EX, Zubat, Golbat, and then Oddish, Gloom, the Vileplume, the Paris. So we have Parasect, and I never noticed that this was a mushroom Pokemon and not a crab Pokemon. I'm not sure if anybody else like reads the fine print over here, but it says a mushroom Pokemon, and I think it makes sense because of like the shell is a mushroom, and in Paris it's like the two mushrooms are growing out of it, but I just always thought that it was a crab Pokemon. But it makes sense because it's a grass type. And then we have the Diglett and the Dugtrio, but here, I really like this Diglett. I think I have just a fond memory of Diglett from my old Pokemon cards, like the base set ones, and I just really love how it looks. I don't know. Maybe Dugtrio or Diglett is just a very underrated Pokemon, and I think it deserves to shine. So that's my little highlight of him. We have Meowth and Persian, which I absolutely love as well. I love how they're side by side, and it's kind of like in a way a similar art. Then we have Psyduck. So Psyduck, Golduck, and then Mankey, Primeape. These I like how these two, when they're placed next to each other, it looks like it's kind of continuing in the scene, but Mankey is in a sunset or daytime, and while Primeape is at night. So just a cute little environment shift. And then we have Growlithe, which is so cute. I love this Growlithe. I'm also like look at the background. Like it's just, I think it's just done so well. There was so much attention to detail, and it's like in a different perspective of Growlithe. So we're just catching him in midair, and I really like that Pokemon. And then we have the Arcanine, Poliwag. Poliwag is super cute with its pink little lips over there. Oh, such a cute card. And then we have Poliwhirl, which I think is also another card that deserves its highlight. You can kind of see this little cute illustration of Poliwhirl being on timeout. It looks like it's on timeout to me, or it's hiding. I can't really tell. What do you guys think it is doing in here? I have no idea. Is there a story behind this, or am I just making things up right now? And then we have Poliwrath, Abra. We have the normal Abra, reverse Abra, and then the one from the Alakazam collection, box. So this is the Cosmo Hollow, and it's just super cute. I have one of the swirls up in the sky, so it's just looking super nice where while Abra is kind of knocked out and sleeping. Really happy I was able to get my hands on that, which is why there is 3 of these Abras. So I decided to include them all together again, similar to the Bulbasaur promos from the poster collection. And then we have Kadabra as well. So Kadabra, I feel like the Cosmos just complements like the environment super well in each of these cards, even though it's exactly the same. I think it just brings like so much character and fun to it. And then we have the Alakazam EX. This one is the regular one, and then I have the one from the box, which is the promo. And I'm so sad that these 2 cards are not like side by side so you can see them. But I just wanted to put them together. So if we want to see them side by side and you want to see the difference, that's kind of how they look side by side. I wanted them to be next to each other despite how others would put them in the back of the binder, because I think they belong together. Like they're just so similar that they just need to exist together. And we'll kind of see this with the other EX cards that do have a regular EX and a promo version. I have those side by side, but let's continue. So we have Bellsprout, we have the Weeping Bell, and then Victory Bell, some Tentacles and Tentacruels, which I don't really like, but they are nice to look at sometimes. We have our Geodude, Graveler. I love like the fighting Pokemons. And then we have our Golem EX. So this Golem EX I got from a trade, and I don't know why, but I could never get a regular hit, or I only got like a couple and that was it. But I was missing a bunch of these regular EX cards, and I really like how they look despite everybody not being excited for them. It's just really nice to have. And then we have Rapidash, and this is where my cards start going like the 2x2s. Oh, but first, okay, let's get into Slowpoke. I love this Slowpoke illustration. Like Slowpoke is just chilling and sunbathing in the or sea bathing, I mean, in the water, and it's just so cute. Like it's just like belly up, looking up in the sky, and it's just chilling. Like what a cute Slowpoke. This is one of my favorites. I can't. And then we have Slowbro. Then we have the Magnemite. So yeah, what I was saying before. So my cards finally just started becoming 2x2s. So they're just right next to each other, and it just fits really well. And I really like how that happened, even though I tried to plan it in the beginning, but it didn't work out. And Doduo in this illustration, I like how it's like another perspective of it looking up towards the like Pokemon and then towards the sky, so you get this like sun gleam, and I don't know, Doduo just looks super cool in that. We have Dodrio, and then a Seal, and then another one of my favorites, a Dugong. So we can see in this Dugong, like it just looks so pretty. Like I have no idea what it is, but maybe it's because it's white and blue, but I think those colors complement each other so well that Dugong looks like a princess here. And it's just enjoying its life, and it's just splashing away in its natural environment. And then we have Grimer, the Mux, and then Shelder, Cloyster, Ghastly, Haunter, and then Gengar. So all of these, like, so all of those evolutions, or that evolution has so much going on in its background, and it's the same like type of art, which is super interesting. I do not know what these like little like are they ghosts, like little monsters are in the back, but I think it's just really cool. It's not my favorite art, but there's just so much going on that makes you drawn towards it. So really like that. Then we have Onyx, Drowsy, just chilling on a rooftop, and then Hypno, who is inside the house or rooftop that Drowsy is in potentially. But I love how Hypno is just like creeping across in this hall, and then you can see like the background. It's just like super pretty. Oh, actually, maybe it's not in a hall, it's outside, and he is just creeping in the alley. Like, I love the background of this Hypno card. Like, it's just, there's so much characteristics in there. And then we have Krabby, Kingler, Voltorb, Electrode. Those cards are also super, super pretty. But let's kind of continue, because I don't want this to turn out to be such a long video. Yeah, so over here it's still the 2x2s, which I really enjoyed. Then we have Hitmonlee, and then Hitmonchan, which is another card I love. So we can see that this is like another perspective of it, like the camera angle looking up, and Hitmonchan just looks so nice. It's like up, like with all the palm trees. Are these palm trees? But then I just love how the card looks. And let's put that back. So then we have Lickitung, Wheezing, and then the Rhyhorn, which is also done pretty well. Rhydon. I think it's just the fighting cards were done super well. And then we have Chansey. Chansey was hard for me to pull. I didn't pull any of them. I got most of these from trades, but I love how it has like a 4-leaf clover, and it's just like wishing luck on everybody. I mean, I guess it is a lucky bonus, but I think it's just a super cute card. And then we have Tangela, and then the Kangaskhan EX. So Kangaskhan EX, this is one of the regular EX cards that you get from it, but then we have the SVP promo. So this is from the Kangaskhan EX battle deck, and it didn't really belong to any other set, so I decided to kind of lump it in together with the 151. It kind of complements each other. You can kind of see it's the same art, so that's why I wanted to collect it and have it side by side next to the Kangaskhan EX. It also works out because if I didn't have it, then it would ruin the 2x2 layout that I had going on. So it works out, and I think they look super cute next to each other. Then we have Horsey, Seadra, Goldeen. Goldeen is also super pretty. Like, we can kind of see it's like a different, so all these were like in a blue sea, and now you can kind of see Goldeen in this golden sea with the yellow, like in a with sunset colors reflected in it, and I think that's just super pretty. Then we have Sea King, Staryu, Starmie, and then Mr. Mime. We also have Scyther, which is one of the Pokemons that I kind of forget about actually. I think in the very beginning I always remember Scyther as one of the 151 Pokemons, but afterwards he just disappeared. But I love the Scyther because you see the background where he's just like slicing through the branches or trees, and you can see them coming off of them. So he is doing a great thing over there, whether he's helping out slashing trees and clearing the forest or not. Then we have Electabuzz. Electabuzz also has the Cosmo Hollow version foil variable. So this is from the Zapdos box, I think. I bought these because I couldn't get my hands on Zapdos. But I love how the Cosmo Hollow, like in certain lights, you can see like it pretends like it's coming out of its hand, and then it like with the light it like shines to the rest of the artwork. So I think that's just a really fun card. So then I have these three all together, which worked out because we didn't have a Jinx promo card to add to here. But then here we have the Magmar side by side, pincers as well. So it all worked out. Taurus, Magikarp. And I love how Magikarp is just like flying off in the river. And then we have Gyarados. Gyarados is such an underrated Pokemon that nobody like really was excited to get. And I was so excited to see Gyarados again. It's been so long since I've seen him as well. And I just love how it looks. Like, look how fierce Gyarados looks. Then we have a beautiful Lapras. Super nice. I really love that one as well. Then Ditto, one of my favorite Pokemons. Not every Pokemon is my favorite, but these are some of my favorites just because I grew up with them. The Ditto looks so cute because it's like a little blob, and I like how it's not like the rest of the cards where Ditto is front and center. Ditto's just blending in this glob of other stuff, and I think that's just really, really fun. Then we have the Eevee and the Eeveelutions all together. I love how these are all together. And here is my absolute favorite Pokemon. Okay, this is hands down my favorite. I am deciding if I want to start a Vaporeon like mini binder for all cards dedicated to Vaporeon because I just love. This is my favorite Eeveelution. Okay. And then we have the Jolteon, which is also really cute. Flareon, of course, is also looking super duper nice. And then Porygon. And then we kind of get into, I think we're almost done the commons and uncommons. We have Ammonite and Almastar. I love how, so for these two, here, let me take them out. So we have Ammonite. And Ammonite is just like in its little, I guess, peaceful little state. It's still on a rock. And then afterwards, we have Omastar, which change with the evolution. It just changes the whole entire environment. And you can see that Omastar is still on the little rock. But it's just everything is just more chaotic, I think. But you can see a side by side of how everything is next to each other, and I love how it was just, they just changed the environment and evolved him in the same area. Then we have Kabuto, Kabutops. Kabutops is done really well, so it's also illustrated with so much detail. Like you can see that Kabutops is within like these mountains or rocks, and he's just like going through them. I don't know if he's slicing or he's just moving really fast, but super, super nice. And I love the hollow graphic. The hollow, whenever it hits in a certain light, it just looks super nice. Okay, so then we have Aerodactyl. Aerodactyl is one of the Pokemons that I forget exist as well. You hear them in the very beginning and then you never hear about them ever again. But Aerodactyl is a very different type of artwork compared to the rest of them. So there's that. And then we have our little Snorlax. And then Articuno. I love how all the birds are together. So we have a beautiful Articuno, if it will let me focus, and it's just it's just a super pretty card. I actually do not remember Articuno. I don't know about anybody else, but I do not remember them. I remember Zapdos, and here we have the regular Zapdos, of course, and afterwards the promo version as well. So they're next to each other, and they just look so nice. Like, look at that. Then we have Moltres, Dratini, Dragonair, and then the Dragon Knight. And then here we are getting to the final page of just the Pokemons, the 165 Pokemons. So we have Mewtwo, 151 Pokemons, my bad. Mewtwo, which is looking super, super intense. And then here is the EX card that I think not a lot of people notice. But this Mew EX is my favorite Bubble Mew. It is not the Bubble Mew that everybody wants because it's not priced that much. But if anybody has noticed, this little Mew is in a bubble. So you can see this, like, how it's just like in this transparent bubble. I never noticed it in the very beginning until I paid attention. But it's just like there's a couple of bubbles everywhere and Mew is trapped in one. And I think it's just really nice and not a lot of people know about it. So I hope that you enjoyed that fact and you love this card as much as I do now, because it is a 151 Bubble Mew. But I just think that the Mew over here is just super, super cute. So here we are. And then we have the Mew gold card, but the metal version. So I had this before in a regular perfect fit sleeve, but it kept on moving out. So I shoved it in the 151 sleeves that you get from the ETB. But over here you can kind of, I'm having a tough time getting it out. But this is the metal card, and I think it's done really well. It's this, you can get this from the ultra premium collection box, but it's so expensive, which is kind of the reason why I bought this as just an individual card in the beginning. Not really a card because it's metal, but I wanted to add it to the collection just because. And now I just want to kind of get this back in. But because I shoved it into the 151 sleeve, it fits super well and snug in there, and it doesn't like plop out every time I'm flipping the page. And then we have the regular gold card, so with the Mew EX, Switch, and then the basic Psychic Energy card. And then I have one little empty space, potentially for the Charizard EX from the Super Premium Collection box, or Charizard collection box. And then I have some artworks from the 151 tins. I only kept the my favorite artworks, and then I trimmed the top of them, or the bottom actually, to fit them into these sleeves, because I don't know why. I wish they like just cut it to like a card size so they could fit in easily without cutting, but I wanted some memories of it. And then we have the trainer cards, which I kind of dedicated to like a new section. So we have all these trainer cards, Build Transfer, Cycling Road. I will grab this Build Transfer out just because I want to show you something that I didn't notice before. So let's see. And then on the next page, we have the rest of the trainers. So you can see all the trainers are all together. We have Erica's Invitation, Giovanni's Charisma, Grabber, Leftovers, and then afterwards, so on the next page, I do have the Protective Goggles, Rigid Band, and then the full arts and special illustrations. But here, so in Bill's Transfer, so we have the full art, which looks so cute. It's so nice. But on the side, you can see that he has the red book and yellow book, and then he is in front of the computer screen. So keep that in mind because this is like important. So when we go into the regular trainer card for Bill's transfer, he is sitting in front of his computer, but there's the same red and yellow books on top of his tower. So this is just like a different perspective. So if you see them side by side, you can see that Bill, when he's sitting down, we see one perspective of him, and then when he gets up and he's like looking through other things, we see the other perspective. And I love that that it just continues and it tells the story basically, or it's just like another version of Bill's transfer. So let me put the Bill's transfer back into its right area. Okay, and so like the artist illustrator is exactly the same. So there we go. So Ghidorah is the same as like from the normal card, and then for the full art as well. So I really love that they did that. And then here, let's check out Daisy's help. It's also by Kimiko. And then let me see if I can get my camera to focus. It's by not the same one. Then we have Erica's Invitation, which is by Misaki. And then this one is also by Misaki. It doesn't really like, one sec, let's see. So let's pull this out and see if it kind of works together. So it doesn't feel like it's a continuation. It's just a similar or different background. You can tell the art style is exactly the same, but it doesn't really tell the story like Bill's transfer does, or not really a story, but you know what I mean. But this Erica's Invitation is also super nice. I think the background is Wisteria's, right? But I think that just looks super cute. And we have the Erica's Invitation right next to the special illustration rare because I wanted them kind of next to each other, because it just felt a lot nicer when I was looking at it. But we can see that there is so much going on in this card. Like there's so many potions or perfumes, like flowers, like everything is just blooming, and it's just so colorful, which makes this card super special. I can see why it's a special illustration rare. And then we have Giovanni's Charisma, the full art, and then the special illustration rare, which I absolutely love as well. So Giovanni's Charisma has like the Persian sitting and cuddling right up next to him, and then he is also like, here, let me focus. So we have one Pokeball that he's holding, and then the Master Ball on his desk, and I just love how the environment was done on this. So he is like in his little office, and then in the background at the very back there's like a showcase, like a sealed collection of Pokeballs, different types of Pokeballs. And that's kind of how I imagine my sealed collection to look. So really enjoy that card as well. So we're done with the trainer cards, and now we have the full illustrations. So here, let's see. We have like the Bulbasaurs, Charmander, and Squirtle. So these I put right next to each other, right in the beginning, and then the rest of the cards go from the Pokédex numbers, but they're a little all over the place. But I wanted to keep the Bulbasaur, Ivysaur, and Venusaur all together. So here we have the Bulbasaur. Let me kind of rearrange myself a bit. So here we have Bulbasaur, and Bulbasaur just looks so cute. It is in this green foliage, and it's just chilling. It's just chilling over there, and I think that's super, super nice. Then we have the Ivysaur, so kind of continuing. So Bulbasaur was inside everything, and then Ivysaur just decided to creep up next to like a river, and then you can see his reflection, a very funny reflection, staring back at him. And I think that having the art continue was such a good idea. Like, I don't know whose idea it was, but whoever did that came up with it. Like, they truly made each and every one of these cards like super fun. And then we have Venusaur. So Venusaur is in a garden, basically, or field of flowers. One thing that is different about this Venusaur EX was that I could not feel the texture on this card. So for every special illustration and I think full art, you can always feel like the like rigid bumps. They're very faint, but it should never be smooth, unless it was a quality issue. I don't know if my camera is picking it up, but the special illustration cards have textures, and this one, which I bought from someone on Marketplace, like felt super smooth, and it was hard for me to tell if this was real or fake. But after searching online, like, it seems like it was just a quality issue, and it is real. Then we have the Charmander. So Charmander is super nice as well. I love that we were able to pull this. But I love the story with the Charmander. So Charmander is found on the rock, and that was the rock from the very first time that Ash like saw him, right? So, or Charmander's first appearance, and he was just very sad over there, and about to die, right? But Charmander looks kind of more or less the same as he did in the very beginning, and I love how it features things from like the Pokemon animation. And then we have Charmeleon looking super mean like he did before, or like he is, and he's just like looking down at Charmander, and I love how it like continues on, so you can kind of see it like stacked. So Charmeleon is looking down at Charmander, and Charmander is kind of looking up, but they're in the same like environment or scenes. And then, of course, we have the Charizard EX. So Charizard is just flying up away, but he is not down below like Charmander and Charmeleon. And this card, I feel like, could have been better. Is one of the most expensive cards in the 151 set, but I think they could have dedicated more time and artwork time into this card, because the other artworks kind of look better. But I do love how each of these like continue on, so I think it's just because of how they did it. That's kind of why Charizard is like a small little thing instead. Then we have Squirtle. This card, as long as with the Squirtle, Charmeleon, and the Wartortle, these were ones that my friend got me, and so I'm super thankful for her. So I didn't need to buy these cards myself. They were just the gifts, and the Squirrel is looking very funny to me. It looks like a little Mr. Clean. But I love how it's just like on the sea and walking. And then we have Wartortle, who is like kind of in the water, and he's just swimming around, and we have like the sun beaming from the top of the sky and into the water, so it's highlighting different areas, so it's super cute. And then we have the Blastoise EX. So Blastoise is, I never knew that Blastoise could be like a deep sea creature, because this is what he looks like. He looks like he's down in the most pressured areas of the sea. But I guess it's different if it's Pokemon, right? But so we have Blastoise, who is down below, and then Wartortle, who kind of swims regularly, and then Squirtle, who just chills at the top. And then we have all the regular illustration cards. So I put all these together because I wanted them to be dedicated to these 2 full pages. And so for this Caterpie, I love how there's the first Caterpie, and then there is one over there in the corner and one over here where I'm highlighting, and there is another one. So there is like basically 4 Caterpies in this card, and there's just so much leaf being munched on. But it's like it's a family of Caterpies, which I really love. And it's just so green. And then we have the like pop of reddish from its horn coming out. And then we have the Pikachu. So this one was one of the cards I got from a trade. No, actually I bought this. So I bought this for $40. And I love how there's so many Pokemons all over the place. So we have like Nidoran, we have Butterfree, we have Psyduck, we have Blastoise in the background, Slowpoke, Growlithe, and then, Gengar. We have so many Pokemons in there, and I think it's just a fun card to look at. Then we have Nidoking. So I don't think there's anything special with this Nidoking. Like it's just owning its place in the little foresty jungle, and that's pretty much it. I think it's one of the more underwhelming cards for me. And then we have the cutest Psyduck. This Psyduck is just overthinking, and it's on the staircase. But I love how it's randomly there. Like there is just a little lost Psyduck. And I don't know. It just feels like such a cute card. I love how Psyduck looks, how confused it looks on the staircase. And then we have the Poliwhirl. So this was a card I bought off Marketplace while it was still cheaper. And I was super happy to find it because it was one of my chase cards. So we were able, from opening packs, we were able to get 2 of my chase cards, which was Dragonair and Bulbasaur. And we weren't able to get Poliwhirl, and I finally got my hands on it. So I love how Poliwhirl is just in the rain, and then we can see its reflection as well. Then we have Machoke over here. I think this is another fun card because we have a moving company of Machokes. So there's like one over here dusting it, one moving objects. We have Meow, and then we have this person over here. I don't know who that is. If anybody knows, please let me know in the comments below. And then we have a couple more Machokes over here, but you can kind of see how, if it will focus, we have a Machoke moving company truck. I think that's so cute, but how do all these Machokes fit in that truck? Or do they just like have multiple trucks? Because they're quite big. And then we have Tangela. Tangela is just a really fun card as well. We have it hanging off a tree, acting like a swing. And I can imagine the other Tangela over there, like, pushing him, I guess. So they're both just having fun, swinging on a tree, just kind of like how we were when we were children. It's so cute. And then we have Mr. Mime. So Mr. Mime is also a card I was excited to get. I know a lot of people get sad when they see an illustration that they don't like, but this Mr. Mime is the cutest because it is playing chess. I don't know who discovered this, but it does look like it, whether it's playing chess or checkers or whatever it is. You can see like 3 of them all together, and I don't think I've ever seen like a group of Mr. Mimes all together. So really like that. And then you can see all of them, like all their shadows and how the sun is just setting. So super fun. And then we have Ammonite. Ammonite also features other Pokemon in here. So we have the Omastar evolution, and then the Omanyte, and then a Kabuto. So I think it's harder for me to see the big picture here. Like I can see it's just like everybody is in the water all together and there's just different Pokemons, but I don't think there's anything special here. Then we have one of my chase cards, the Dragonair. This Dragonair was so beautiful and I'm super happy that we were able to pull it. Like I love how it's just like peeping out of like the shallow water, and it's like different type of environment. And then we get into the better cards. So these are the special illustration rares, and we have the Alakazam EX. There's so much going on, but it's one of the cards that it just, even though there's so much going on, it just feels right. Like Alakazam is doing his thing, and then there's like clocks, there's books, there's everything in here. So that's fun. And then we have a Zapdos. So this was a card that was harder to find for me. It took a while, and I'm super sad. Even though I bought this card from someone else, and it has like 3 or 4 dents on him. So it's just like scratches basically. So it scratched off the paint of the Zapdos, and you can only see the foil. I think I have so in the sunlight or in light you can see like which areas like really cut off from there, and I'm really sad, but it's just like one of the cards like I'll always remember, I guess, now. So a little fun thing. And then I love how it's a Zapdos with the Moltres and Articuno over here, like all flying together. It's one of the cards I was super excited to see in person because I've only ever seen it online, and now I have my hands on it finally. And then, so technically that should have been the end of all the cards, but I decided to add the promos because they fit super well with the rest of the illustration cards. So we have the Snorlax promo. This is from the 151 ETB, and we have the big huge Snorlax blocking the way with Pidgey and then Diglett right over there. So that's super fun. Oh, let me focus. Oh, I guess I cannot focus. I was trying to check out if there was any other Pokemons, which there isn't. But the card is super pretty, and I think it just belongs right there. And then we have the Mewtwo. Mewtwo is just looking super almighty in its very dark environment. I think that just fits the card super well. But this is also from the Ultra Premium Collection box with the Mew on it. So that's kind of why these are the promos. And then we have the last special illustration card, which was one of the promos. We have the Mew EX, and I never realized, but the price on this has gone up so much. Not so much, but quite a lot. And I'm glad I bought it like early on rather than later. And the artwork on this is super nice because there's the Mew flying up at the top, but then there's like these little other characters up in like the window and down below playing around. And I think it's just a really beautiful card. And that was basically all the illustrations. Like, oh, this is my favorite page. Well, just because of how beautiful it looks. Like, we can kind of see everything. Sorry if there is a the light shining, and it's kind of hard to see, but you can kind of see the whole entire thing, and I love how it just fills up these 2 pages. And lastly, or not yet, but the fun things, the fun cards, we have the full arts. So we have the full arts dedicated to the last page, and I know that's kind of out of order from the Pokemon card numbers, but I wanted to highlight the specific type of cards in a specific section, and I think it looks really well this way. As like so we have all the full arts, and I'm gonna pull out the Blastoise, or just like a couple of them, to show. But I really like how, like, you can see the texture and how it's outlined specifically. Like, it just like, what is it? It shines in a very beautiful way because of the way these full arts were done, and I didn't like them in the beginning, but I love them now. So this is the last full art I bought, which was quite expensive. I think it's the most expensive full art. I bought it for $60. So yeah, there's that, and I'm so glad I was finally able to complete every single one of these cards. And at the back, instead of leaving it all empty, I wanted to dedicate it to each and every energy card. So we have the grass type, grass energy cards, and the last two I have is Cosmo Hollows, but I was trying to do it like specifically the last row or the whole page to be Cosmo Hollows, but it took forever to even get them, or get the ones I do have. So for fire I have 3, and then water I have like another 3 only, lightning as well. So you can kind of see like normal cards and then the Cosmo Hollows ones. And then for psychic I was able to get 1 full row of it, but not like the whole page. And then the fighting energy, I got 5 of them actually, so that was good. These were mainly all from polls as well, so we were super close on completing a full page of Cosmo Hollow energies. And darkness, we only had 2, and then the metal energy, we had a full row as well. So I love a lot of these because you can evidently see like all the swirls. I think there's one over there, but there's some cards where there's like more than 3, or like, a couple of them, which is fun. And then that kind of is all the cards I have. In the back I have, of course, the Blastoise EX. So this is from the Blooming Waters collection set. And then yeah, so it's just a jumbo Blastoise EX, and then we have the Zapdos EX as well. So I put these in the back because they don't really fit anywhere. And that's my complete 151 master set. Thank you for watching until the very end and listening to me ramble. I'll see you again next time. Bye!